I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
For Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents...
Terence Crawford erupted at Canelo during a tense press conference. He emphasized that his goal is always to win inside the ring, but warned that any disrespect from Canelo could make it personal. His fiery words highlighted his intensity and determination, proving he's mentally and physically ready, with full confidence in himself.
You a there is stuff. You a see you a you a hold talking to let Aaron you a because you keep talking you doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be gotta come back. I come back. He don't talk, and you talking too much. This want some attention. So I right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here. Female ass. So y'all showing me this is legendary old school fight. Get out some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah.
Greg Hackett has been outspoken about Terence Crawford's ability to defeat Canelo Alvarez, a belief rooted in Crawford's fearless attitude both inside and outside the ring. Hackett points out that Crawford never enters a fight with hesitation or intimidation, which separates him in a division where many fighters falter when facing a dominant figure like Canelo. He emphasizes that Crawford's confidence is not arrogance, but the result of years of discipline, experience, and adaptability. According to Hackett, confidence is a fighter's sharpest weapon, and Crawford brings it with him every time he steps into the ring. Taking on Canelo, regarded as one of boxing's pound-for-pound greats, demands exceptional mental toughness, and Hackett firmly believes Crawford has it in abundance. For Hackett, this clash is not an uphill struggle for Crawford, but another chance to prove that he rises to the occasion and thrives under immense pressure.
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money going to land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question, I think, for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus
Adam Smith, one of boxing's most respected commentators, views the potential clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez as a massive step up for Crawford, yet one he is capable of winning. Smith highlights Crawford's exceptional boxing IQ, noting his ability to read opponents, adjust swiftly, and exploit openings with precision. He stresses that Crawford's speed is another key weapon, especially since Canelo's defensive style can sometimes leave gaps a sharp, quick fighter could take advantage of. In Smith's eyes, the bout would likely be decided on points, with Crawford's ability to outthink and outmaneuver Canelo over 12 rounds serving as the difference. He praises the matchup as one of the most exciting possible in recent years, expecting both men to push each other to their physical and mental limits. For Smith, Crawford winning on points is not a stretch, but proof that boxing at its highest level rewards intelligence, skill, and strategy.
I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember you back then? How much you spoke about?
No,
that?
I love that fight.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
Yeah,
But that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong, super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems.
Ade Oladipo takes a more critical stance on the matchup, arguing that despite the huge attention it has attracted, it lacks the natural intrigue of other recent high-profile fights like Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo points out that Crawford against Canelo doesn't carry the same sense of competitiveness or suspense, largely because of the weight disparity and the general expectation that favors Canelo. Unlike Usyk versus Dubois, which showcased a clash of styles and real unpredictability, this fight feels less evenly matched in his view. He suggests that much of the excitement surrounding Crawford versus Canelo is being driven more by promotional build-up than by the genuine dynamics of the contest.
You know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost feel like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. And maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side who's a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather, McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal. Because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have gone all out to transform Crawford versus Canelo into a cultural phenomenon, branding it as the fight of the century. They've tapped into the global boxing market, generating hype that stretches far beyond the sport's usual fan base. Netflix's involvement has pushed the spectacle even further, delivering unprecedented coverage with behind-the-scenes access, exclusive footage, and promotional content that makes the event feel larger than life. Through documentaries, interviews, and carefully marketed press conferences, the fight has reached audiences who might not typically watch boxing. This strategy blurs the line between sport and entertainment, building anticipation on par with the biggest crossover events in history.
Tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran analyst Al Bernstein offers a frank take, saying that despite the massive promotional push, this isn't the fight the boxing world was truly waiting for. He argues the demand for Crawford versus Canelo didn't grow naturally, as fans were more eager to see Crawford against opponents in his own division or Canelo tested by challengers closer to his weight. Bernstein points out that while the matchup has appeal on paper, it lacks the organic rivalry or compelling storyline that usually makes a fight a must-see. He adds that although promotion has generated plenty of buzz, genuine interest among core boxing fans is more muted compared to other mega fights. Bernstein's outlook underscores the criticism that this bout feels more like a marketing creation than a response to true fan demand.
I think it's one of those fights that the interesting thing is it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights. Like, there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. It looks like they've already sold 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
there's
they'll
not
sell
that
it
many
out.
left in Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that we'll also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already...
Another common perspective on this fight is that while it will draw massive attention, it isn't a matchup fans truly demanded. Many argue that the size and weight advantage strongly favors Canelo, making the outcome feel predictable. As a result, much of the excitement centers on whether Crawford can defy those disadvantages and deliver a historic upset. Should he succeed, it would go down as a shocking and unforgettable moment, reshaping the underdog narrative in boxing. But if Canelo wins as most expect, the bout risks being dismissed as routine or inevitable. This viewpoint highlights the tension between hope and expectation. Fans long for the drama of an upset but fear the disappointment of a foregone conclusion. The real intrigue lies in whether Crawford can prove that skill and intelligence can conquer size and power.
For this fight, because of that undercard, this promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now, there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is gonna be some memorable night of boxing other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
Observers have been taken aback by Terence Crawford's transformation at 175 pounds, well above his natural division. Photos and reports show him ripped with defined muscles, a thicker neck, and broader shoulders, giving the look of a fighter ready to meet a powerhouse like Canelo head-on. This change has eased concerns that Crawford might be undersized, instead showing a body built to handle the demands of a heavier division. His physique reflects serious commitment, with strength and conditioning work aimed at adding power while keeping his trademark agility. For fans, seeing Crawford bulked up yet still sharp has sparked optimism that he can offset Canelo's physical edge while maintaining the technical brilliance that defines his style. The image of a stronger, more imposing Crawford has ignited fresh debate over whether size will truly determine the outcome.
Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded, what looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terence Bud Crawford right there, and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at one right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right, you can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what...
Canelo Alvarez's pedigree is impossible to ignore. Turning professional at just 15, he carries decades of experience against some of boxing's biggest names. Unlike fighters who may lack technical polish, Canelo owns one of the sport's sharpest jabs, a granite chin, and the ability to shift tactics mid-fight. His reputation as an elite champion rests on titles across multiple weight divisions and a proven track record of thriving under immense pressure. For Crawford, stepping in against such a seasoned opponent represents the ultimate challenge. Canelo's mix of skill, toughness, and ring IQ makes him a formidable threat to any fighter, no matter their style.
We're in the ring, ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.